What up, y'all?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of
Don't
Don't
do
Do
that
That
on Mad as Hell Monday
on 16 TV.
TV. Hopefully, y'all have had a great weekend and had a fun-filled weekend and enjoyed yourself. But now we are here to talk about what makes us mad.
Mad as Hell Monday.
But we are also here to make sure we shout out House of Dank for their Jeter's 1 gram and pretty little thing right there. It is a mango sherbet. Sunday through Thursday, 9 to 12, 15% off anything that's not on sale.
Because that is the spot.
House of Dank. Okay, time to get started.
So, you know how we do it. Ladies first. Mad as Hell Monday, but we still are going to have manners.
Respectfully, of course. Because, that's what we do around here. So, let's talk about these immigrants. I'm going to use the proper language for these folks. Immigrants, not refugees, immigrants. And I feel as if they're not fleeing from danger, they're fleeing from responsibilities.
Fleeing from laws that are being implemented that they don't want to abide by.
Exactly. Because I see it like this. The only way you are considered an immigrant in Trump's rule book is if you look like me. Then you are a refugee. If you are shades of my husband, you're an immigrant to them. So we're going to talk about the one guy. What is his weird ass name? Charles Kleinhaus.
Charles what?
Kleinhaus. Kleinhaus or something like Kleinhaus. Wonder why.
Oh boy.
Okay, so and he's 46. Boy, how age has crept up on him, and he definitely looks a lot older than 46. But whenever you have somebody stating, I had to leave a 5-bedroom mansion, house, my car, my dogs. He even left his own mom.
His mom.
But you guys are, genocide, and you're under attack. Wouldn't you want to bring your mom? After all, you shouldn't have anything to worry about.
Kind of like that banker said in Spider-Man. That's some young man you've got there. When Peter looked like he had ran off on Aunt May, but he was really going to become Spider-Man. Were you going to become Spider-Man,
No.
Mr. Clanhouse?
Mr. Clanhouse.
Clan.
I'm going to say Clanhouse.
Clanhouse.
He's Clan.
Okay.
He is also a co-owner of Honey Badger Granite Mining.
Ooh.
And it's right there in Nelspruit, South Africa. And also Mpumalanga, also as well. So I don't feel as if you guys are, being targeted or anything like that. You guys are immigrants, period. You're not running from anything. Get over yourself. Whatever pose does or pose doos or whatever people want to call me in the South African language, you can call me a twat all you want in a misogynistic way. I don't care. You want to know why? Because, bitch, I'm a scallywag. Get it right.
Get into it.
Now, when you look at what scallywag is, it's not the pirate definition because none of that came out until novels and TV shows or anything like that. A scallywag is somebody who is against the bullshit that's going on right now.
Learn something.
We are against things like that. We don't roll with the crew of racism that all these other little white percenters or whatever is out there. We're that little small percent out there that ain't scared to take a stand.
Go to the Webster's Dictionary and look up the original meaning of scallywag.
Now, it's going to give you 2 definitions. This first one I didn't really pay attention to because it had something to do with the kids or whatnot. But I really paid attention to the rebellious people. The people who don't believe in bringing in immigrants because they're running from their responsibilities and running because they don't want to follow the laws that, pretty much they put on other people.
Or the type of people that might not be so cool with getting rid of habeas corpus so that we can send people who have been here 10, 15, 20
their whole
years
life
working and being citizens to Guatemala without judicial process. Those would be,
or El Salvador, or wherever they want to send them, or wherever they want to try and send them.
Scalawags.
So I am. You're right. Proud to be it too.
And we already know about this shirt. This shirt makes a lot of people angry, and it pulls a lot of heartstrings, gets a lot of racist people,
in their twats.
Yeah, they get jumper
grabbing their
cables on their
twats.
Back. When I wear this outfit, they get jumper cables on their
My
back.
goodness,
and
man.
So Captain America it is. Captain America it is.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
is it
yeah, it's on you now.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Because that's it. I just had something to say about those immigrants, because the people that we are sending back are actually the refugees.
All right.
Not these sorry rich ass people.
This is a segment.
Keeping your mama.
Can you do me a favor and can you cut off 16? That's me.
Yeah.
Because we do own the rights to this music.
Yeah.
Now, the only time I cut off 16 Icon or that type of music is when I really want to make a point. And so before I make this point, this is going to be called, this is a new segment that we have on the show called Truth Paste. Get some in the morning. Truth Paste. Brush your teeth with it.
On the tongue. Get all that shit in the back.
Let me get ready. Let me get charged up.
Charge it up. Okay.
Now.
Here's the truth paste.
You ready? Being poor and white in America does not compare to being black in America. I've heard a lot of people when black people break down their struggles, things that aggravate them, agitate them, things that frustrate them, when people want to empathize or get on that level with us, a lot of white people have said, well, I grew up poor, so.
Okay, so did I.
I get where you're going.
But I was never scared of the police.
Here's why it does not apply to you. You still enjoy white privilege. Be you poor or rich, your skin color does not change. It stays the same. This means that statistically, when you are pulled over by the police, you don't have to fear for your life. You don't have to fear for your life. A lot of black men and women, they look at getting pulled over by the police as a major problem.
And a possible death sentence.
Possible death sentence.
And from what I've seen, the majority of the time, it always ends up being that way.
You, as a white man or a white woman, do not have the same fear of the police that we do. You just don't. Which is why we took so much offense to the All Lives Matter movement, which is why we call bullshit on All Lives Matter. Because if all lives matter, we wouldn't still have 250 more deaths after George Floyd. We wouldn't have Robert Brooks getting beat to death.
And still, these sons of bitches are not going to plead guilty to a blatant body cam footage.
Okay. So, number two, when you're driving around with your friends, smoking and drinking and acting a fool as we do when you're younger, you see a police car and get pulled over, you're not as likely to get pulled over. You're not as likely to get pulled over. They'll see y'all acting a fool. They don't see no black face in the car. You're less likely to get pulled over. When I'm with my wife in the car, I am more likely to get, we're more likely to get pulled over, even if I'm in the passenger seat. we're more likely to get pulled over. It has been statistically proven that police are instructed to look for black and brown faces to get those citations. They have to get a certain amount of citations every month, or they're considered not doing their job. They get written up, they get in trouble. So when they want a quick citation, they know to go in the black or brown direction. Not in your direction, not even if you're poor, not even if you grew up poor. They're not looking at you as hard as they're looking at me. Okay? You don't get stared at. That's one thing. Old black people don't stare at white people. We don't stare at y'all. Ugh, he's white. We don't do that. That'd be older white people staring at black people. But then, when you do things to agitate us, when you do things to aggravate us, and we get angry, and then we get loud, and sometimes people get violent and curse, it's nothing different than when you get a white person angry. But the media has sold you this facade of who black people are. We're loud, we're violent, easily agitated. And what we do all day long, every day, is walk around trying to prove the stereotype wrong. That's the basis of our entire day. So, just to circle back, being poor and white does not equate to the black experience. It's just not the same.
It's not.
It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
No.
Security don't follow you in stores.
Mm-mm.
You don't wake up every day having to prove to white America that you're one of the good ones. You know what I mean? You don't have people awarding someone almost $1 million for calling a child, an autistic child,
black,
that has your color,
autistic,
a nigger, repeatedly, and get awarded for it. How do you think Black America feels when you can award a woman almost $1 million for something as heinous as calling a 5-year-old a nigger? Y'all gave her money for that. Paid her out, cashed her out. It's people that work hard every damn day, and they'll never see $700,000. She got awarded $700,000 for doing something despicable, disgusting. And y'all paid her for it. Wow. Just wow. And then you wonder why I wear this shirt. We need I don't give a damn who was related to who. With all the injustice that has happened, y'all need to give us something. The descendants of whoever, I don't care if I'm 1/10, one whatever.
Like, for example,
am I 1/10, one whatever when you coming to pull my black ass over?
That plantation that burned down, they had descendants of those slaves still working there.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Reparations right there. I mean, hello. That land alone.
Plantation year and year.
That land alone.
Still there.
That land alone.
And they were proud to announce it during the tour.
That was only
to announce it. Yeah, we glad.
Wait, let's see here. That was 1859,
down.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That is only 134 years ago. Your grandparents, your great grandparents and grandparents, depending on age and whatnot and all that, lived through that.
That's the thing, is your parents and grandparents told you a different history, where our parents and grandparents told us the history of high power water hoses sitting in the back of the bus, different water fountains, getting dogs sicked on them, their friends getting hung from trees, their friends getting drugged from the back of pickup trucks with a rope tied around their neck as they boop 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 boop, boop all across the pavement.
Some of the shit that I have seen,
like,
is some of the most distasteful.
Well, why are you guys still talking about it? Maybe if you stop talking about racism,
No.
it'll disappear. No.
It will never disappear because
No.
if you keep silent on something, you give that energy
No.
power to grow and
No.
grow and grow. And when you
No.
give something like racism silence,
Empathize with our plight
or
instead of
help
trying to
change the
silence
system
us
that
in
is
talking about
destroying
our
people.
pain.
Instead
of trying to silence us.
Because the important one, the one
stop talking about it.
that should never be not silenced again, because I've noticed that nobody has been saying her name.
Ooh, Shiloh?
No. Nobody has been saying Breonna Taylor. Say her name again. Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor, age 26, was an African-American medical worker who was killed on March 13th, 2020. It was 5 years ago, guys. After police officers from Louisville Metro Police Department forced entry into her home, Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, fired a warning shot, mistaking the police for intruders, and wounded Officer Jonathan Mattingly. Mattingly and two other LMPD officers, Brett Hankison and Miles Cosgrove, opened fire. It was determined that Cosgrove fired the fatal shot and that none of Hankison's shots hit anyone. Taylor's family was awarded $12 million in compensation and was given a promise that the LMPD would reform its practices. Now, let's see here. The killing of Taylor by police officers and the initial lack of charges against the police officers involved sparked numerous protests, with supporters adopting the motto, "Say her name." These protests against police brutality and racism were concurrent with the ongoing Black Lives Matter movement across the United States. The civil unrest was exasperated when the grand jury chose not to indict Mattingly or Cosgrove, the officers who shot Taylor. Prosecutors said their use of force was justified as Walker fired first. Some jurors accused Attorney General Daniel Cameron of covering up what happened. On August 23rd, 2022, Kelly Goodlett, who was not present during the raid, pled guilty to charges related to obtaining the warrant used. On November 1st, 2024, a federal jury found Brett Hankinson guilty of depriving Taylor of her civil rights for using excessive force. And now, thing is with this one, they had the wrong house.
This is what I want to know. First of all, what you said, they had the wrong house. But how did all of this even happen without them knowing that it was the police at the door? Did y'all just bust in as people's? Well, how did you not expect for them?
These people were sleeping.
They're sleeping. Why would they think that you would be the police? You're just busting into their house. Of course, they're going to defend themselves. They think it's intruders. Of course, you're going to get shot at. And he was a good enough shot to wing your boy.
Yep. Now the charges, federal charges: Janez, conspiracy, obstruction of justice; Meany, making false statements. State charges: Hinkison, first-degree wanton endangerment, basically reckless endangerment of somebody. Trial: the Commonwealth versus Kentucky and Brett Hankinson, the United States of America, Brett Hankinson of 2023 and 24. The verdict: pled guilty. Goodlett pled guilty. Hankinson hung jury in first trial, guilty of one of two counts in retrial. Janez, Meany, trial pending, charges later reduced. And then Hankinson, state charges were not guilty. Hankinson, deprivation of rights under color of law. Goodlett, conspiracy, 2 counts. Now, the fact that, again, a promise that we'll do better. A promise y'all should have been doing better in the first place. A promise that somebody's life had to be taken from them so young.
Who's responsible for that intel?
Who's responsible for all that?
Who's responsible for the intel that gave them the wrong house and led to this tragedy, debacle?
Of bullshit.
Yeah, what in the hell?
Say her name. Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor. Rest in peace. You are a full medical person up there right now. You had so much going for you.
Like so many others that were taken before their time by those
reckless endangerment, murderous, scared to do their job type of people that shouldn't even be on the force. If you're scared to do your job, bitch, go home.
Supposed to be serving and protect. But more times than not, you hear them say they feared for their lives.
And get another job.
Why do you feel?
Because y'all so quick to tell somebody else to get another job.
You got the flak jackets on. You got all the different equipment that they teach you.
You're going to go raid, right? So you all strapped up.
You got a taser that you never use, body cams that you cut off because you're doing crooked stuff.
Or even with Robert Brooks, you just simply let it film because it's something that you guys always do anyways.
Yeah, it's just natural. Just
natural.
To beat a man to death while he's handcuffed, I guess.
All right, I know. Hands behind his back. Let him choke on his own blood. And then try to plead not guilty. I hope they hang your ass in jail.
Choke slammed him. Remember that? Choke slammed him like he did, like the Undertaker.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna forget about the whole foot to the neck. Destroying the whole man right here, ripping his little thyroid stuff out here, mandible right here.
Just leaning.
Just let him choke on his own blood.
Another day in law enforcement.
Drown in his own blood. Yep. Sit there probably like a crowd, like it used to be in the picnics not too long ago. But you got to get over that while it still goes on. While it still goes on, give these people power.
Why do you keep talking about it?
Because it needs to be said. And best en Mikula Manicon if you don't like it. So next time, guys, we'll see you on Wicked Wednesday. Thanks again for coming out and showing out with us. Come and be a scallywag with us. Peace.